let's go. I'm gonna move this stool out of the way. We're gonna need it later. And oh, let's begin. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and to make the suffering we're about to do a little bit more fun, a little bit more enjoyable, so that we can practice a little bit more consistency down the line. All right, let's get started. We're going to do the first of our 4 warm-up exercises. It's called the hip CARS. CARS stands for controlled articulated rotations. Basically, we're going to move our hips through their maximum range of motion using our own muscle power, so we get stronger and more mobile at the same time. All right, we're going to start by lifting your knee up, 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 as high as it can go directly in front. Then we're going to open up that leg to the side, open as wide as we can. Then we're going to rotate that leg so that the knee, instead of pointing up, the knee starts pointing forward. All right. As you rotate that leg, I want you to lift the ankle up and have it almost hidden behind your standing leg. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. All right. We're going to keep rotating. We're going to keep rotating. We're going to keep rotating. We're going to try and bring the knee down. We're going to lift the ankle up until you're about to cramp in your hamstrings. Next, we're going to bring the leg down and back. We're going to flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Feel the stretch right here in the front of the hip flexor. That is 1 rep. We're doing 10 of these on the left side, 10 of these on the right side. We're going to go reverse and do 10 on the left and 10 on the right. Let's begin. Stand up nice and straight. Try to spread your toes, grip the floor with one of your legs, and the other leg is doing all the flippy stuff. All right, let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's 1. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 2 high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 3. High knee. Open up. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 4 high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 5 high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 6 high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 7 high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 8. 2 more high knee. Open. Open that leg wide. Lift the knee high. Rotate the ankle up, 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 up. Bring the leg down and back. That's 9. Last 1 high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 10. Whew. That is 10 hip CARS on our first leg. Hopefully that leg is feeling a little bit looser. We're going to move on into leg number 2. Over on YouTube, Adam says, I hate doing these. Me too. I hate doing them, but I know they're important. The reason why I don't like doing them is probably because it's good for me. All right, let's continue. Other leg. Stand up nice and straight. Keep that core nice and tight. And let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Bring that leg down and back. That's 1. Open. Sorry, high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 2 high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 3. Especially the first couple of reps on each leg. And they're really not very enjoyable. 4. But as you keep on focusing on lifting that leg a little bit higher, you go, ooh, I did it. I got higher. Or, ooh, that hurts. Or, ooh, that strains my butt cheeks. It gets a little bit better after a little bit. That's 5. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 6. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 7. And I generally prefer the reverse ones. I don't know if it's because I've had all the time to warm up that going forward allows us to do. And so I always feel better by the time we do the reverse, or if it's because I just like that direction better and I should really start with that for next time. Whew, that was 10 hip CARS. I promise my fingers are doing things I was counting. We are done with our hip CARS going forward. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to do a little dance. We're going to shake out those hips because that's what we're doing all this for, to make our hips move a little better so you can use that mobility and move a little better right now. All right. Oh, once you're shaking out those hips just a little bit, we're going to get into our reverse hip CARS. In reverse, we're basically doing all the same things, but there's one thing I want you to keep in mind, and that is the first move, bring our leg back behind us. When it's the first move that you do, you tend to get a little bit excited, you tend to push a little bit harder, all right? And when we go backwards with this leg and we start trying to get higher and higher and higher and higher, start putting a whole bunch of pressure right here in the low back. That is not what we want. If you do that a bunch of times, all 20 of those reps, you're going to have a lot of torquing going on, and that over time can make your back a little bit sensitive, a little bit unhappy. So what I want you to do instead is not lift your leg so high. Focus on just contracting the hamstrings, contracting the glutes, lifting that leg behind you. Feel that stretch here at the hip and keep the core tight enough that you're not torquing right here in the low back. All right? All right, that's it. Let's go. We're doing 10 reps. You ready? You ready? You ready? I'm not ready. All right, let's go. Stand up nice and straight. Hold on to the wall for balance if you need it, and let's begin. Flex the glutes, flex the hamstrings. Feel that stretch right here. Whew. Lift that leg up to the side like you're going to go whoop-ah and give them a kick in the face, except, pretty low to the ground still. From here, we're rotating the knee down and the ankle up. Oh, we're going to do the opposite. We're bringing the ankle down and we're bringing the knee up. Whew. Then we're going to bring the knee forward. That's one rep. I'm going to do the rest facing you so it's easier to mirror me. And let's go. Nice and straight. Hold on to something for balance. Back. Side. Ankle up. Oh, ankle down. Knee. That's one. Back. Ooh, my hip just made a little sound. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's two. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's three. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's four. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Ankle down. Knee. That's five. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's six. Do you want to go? You can leave. There you go. No? You're staying? All right. You can stay. Crazy. All right. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's seven. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's eight. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's nine. Last one. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 10. That is our hip cars. We're going to do 10 more on the other side. Let's finish these. You can also shake your hips out in between. All right, let's go. Stand up nice and straight. Remember, we're keeping the core nice and tight, so we're not putting a whole bunch of pressure in the low back. We're not twerking like this when we're lifting our leg. All right, let's go. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's one. We got 9 more. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 2. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 3. I see in the comments that's difficult. It is definitely not easy. Take your time, take it nice and slow. When you bring this leg down and back, flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, try to lift your leg back behind you. Feel the stretch right here in the hip flexor. Then we're going to lift that leg up to the side. You're working these muscles at the side of the hip, trying to lift as high as you can. Right? From here, we're going to rotate the ankle up. You can imagine that you're pointing the knee down, but whatever it is, the ankle has to come up. And then when you can't go any higher with your ankle, do the opposite. Bring the ankle down and bring the knee up as high as you can. Finish by bringing the knee forward. All right. I think that's 6. We got 4 more. Let's do this. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 7. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. 8. 8. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. 9. Last one. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 10. My balance is doing a little bit better today. That's good. That is 10 hip cars going forward on each leg, 10 hip cars going backwards. on each leg. That means we're done with our first warm-up exercise. If you're just joining in, you're like, what the heck is going on right now? We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split, stretching, and hip mobility work. All right, we do this every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. That means we started 11 minutes ago if you're not in the Eastern time zone. And we do this every day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we're about to do a little bit more fun, a little bit more enjoyable. So if you like side splits, you need some hip mobility, you need a little bit of help practicing consistency, then you should definitely keep coming back and also hit follow and hit subscribe. All right, we're getting into stretch number 2. Sorry, it's not stretch number 2. It's warm up exercise number 2. Very different things. If we were on stretch number 2, we'd be more than halfway done with the show. But we're only at the beginning. Let's go. We are getting into this L shape. All right. If you're standing up, just figure out how to fold at the hips. Bring your belly button down towards the ground. So it looks a little bit like this. If you have a tight low back, like most of us do, just chill, breathe, relax. Let those tight muscles chill out for a little bit. And as you hang out here, you should feel your hamstrings getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. And what we want to do now is add a little bit of movement. All right. What we're going to do is bend one knee, straighten the other leg, and fold our belly button down towards the bent leg. All right. And then we're going to switch back and forth. We're going to go boom, switch, boom, switch, boom, switch. I say boom, but you shouldn't be moving explosively. This doesn't have to be intense. This doesn't have to be fast. You can take it nice and slow and gentle. You should be feeling this in your hamstrings, but you might also feel it a little bit higher up, something in like the glutes-ish area. It is very likely that that is your hamstring, which becomes a tendon, and the tendon attaches to the bottom of your pelvis. When you're standing, the bottom of your pelvis is like here, like mid upper thigh, right? But when you are folded down like this, the bottom of your hips are kind of where your butt would be. Cool? So that's probably what you're feeling. Keep on going. Do a couple more of these. And breathe. Feel that hamstring stretch. Keep going. Last couple of seconds. Try and fold a little bit deeper into your stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, that is our second warm-up exercise. Those are the elephant walks. Our hamstrings are feeling a little bit looser. All right, do a little shake, do a little movement. And we're going to get on into our third warm-up exercise. It's called the thoracic rotation. The thoracic spine is kind of the middle chunk of your spine right here, below your neck, above your low back. And it's designed to do a lot of things a little bit better than your low back is, at least. And we're going to get the thoracic spine to do a little bit of rotation right now. All right, we're gonna get right back into that position we're just in, where one leg is bent, one leg is straight, our belly button is coming down to the ground. From here, we're going to take the arm from the bent leg side. We're going to reach across to the straight leg. We're going to push against the outside of that leg to help open up our chest. All right, and we're going to breathe. Inhale, exhale, and reach our arm over behind our shoulder. Right now, our neck is rotating to look at the hand, and that is one rep, sort of, because we got to do the other side to match it. We did one rep for one side. We got to do the other side. So we're switching it over. This leg is bent. This leg is straight. This bent arm is pushing off the straight leg. We are folding our belly button down, and we are rotating the chest by pushing off of our leg with that hand. All right. From here, we're going to extend the other arm up into the air. We're going to rotate the neck to look at that hand, and we're going to inhale. Then we're going to exhale and reach a little further back. Try it again. Inhale, exhale, reach a little further back. That is officially one rep. We're doing 5 of these. Take them nice and slow. You don't have to go fast. I talk fast. I try to do a lot of explaining to make sure people who come in for the first time have enough information to jump right in with us. But that does not mean you have to move fast, just that my mouth is moving fast. All right. Next, we got 4 more reps. Let's keep going. Leg is bent, leg is straight. Arm from the bent side, pushing off the shin of the straight side. We're pushing, we're pushing, we're pushing, we're pushing, we're pushing. We're opening, we're reaching up. The neck is rotating to look at the hand. Breathe, exhale and reach. Exhale and reach, and whew. Other side. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Push, open. Look at the hand. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale and reach. If you want, add another one. Inhale. Exhale and reach. Whew, that is two. We got three more. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Push and reach and breathe. Ah, ah. Whew. That's three. Other side. Ah, ah. That's still three. We got two more. Four and five. That's all that's left. Let's go. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Open, 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 open. Breathe. Ah, and reach. Whew. That's four. Other side. Ah, breathe and reach. That is four. We got one last rep. If your shoulders are tired, we're almost done. Don't worry. Let's go. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Reach. Breathe. Ah, reach some more. Ah, reach, 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 reach. And that is five. Other side to wrap things up. Breathe. Ah, reach. Breathe. Ah, reach. Breathe and reach. Whew, that is five reps. If your shoulders, if your arms are tired right now because you never reached this far back and your muscles are going, what the heck? That's okay. You know why that's okay? Because we don't need them for anything else for the rest of the show. You can just let them flop around. We're going to move on into our fourth and final warm up exercise. All right. It's called the Cossack switch. You do not have to jump into it right now. I'm going to demonstrate and then we'll get into some pre-stretchy versions of it together. All right. The Cossack switch looks a little bit like this. We're going to open up our legs decently wide. We're going to pop down into a deep squat on one leg, and we're going to have the other leg extended out to the side. We're going to try and sit as low as we can. We're all going to be at different levels, but we're going to try our best to sit as low as we can. Then we're going to scoot our butts over to the other side. Ooh, my ankle just cracked. When we get to the other side, we're going to breathe. We're going to exhale. We're going to try and squish a little bit deeper into that stretch again. Then we're going to come back. Boom. That's it. That's the whole thing. For most of us, our ankles, our knees, our hips are not going to be ready to go super deep right away. What I want you to do, and now you can all join in, is from standing, slowly come down into a bit of a squat. Get nice and deep if you can. I want you to try to fold your chest to your knees a little bit. All right? It's 100% okay if your heels come off the ground. In fact, I recommend it. From here, I want you to try and push your knees down towards your toes. I want you to feel that Achilles tendon stretch. I want you to feel that calf stretch. And I want you to just chill here for a little bit. You can work on your balance if you like. If everything's feeling okay, everything is feeling all right, I want you to add a little bit of movement. This does not have to be intense, does not have to be crazy, just a little bit of movement to get the joints starting to move a little. All right? Why don't you see if you can push one knee down towards the ground a little bit, push the other knee, keep pushing. It's gonna move your hip joints, it's gonna move your ankle joints, maybe a tiny little bit in your knee joints. We're going to try our best to push one leg out, bring it back in, push the other leg out, bring it back in, push both legs out, bring it back in. Do a little dance, move your hips, and if you're feeling pretty good, it's time to move on into some Cossack switches. All right. What I want you to do is put your hands straight down into the ground. Nothing fancy, just straight down. From here, we're going to extend one leg out to the side. We're getting set up. All right. This heel is down. The toes are kind of pointing up. This isn't that important. It's just a placeholder for now. All right. Next, we're going to get into a position where this heel is down on the ground. This is important because we want your feet to be planted so that they can have the most stability in whatever position you end up in. All right. Next, we want to get as low as we can into this squat. If you're new to this exercise, you're not quite sure how to finagle the shenanigans, that's absolutely okay. Stay a little bit higher up. All right. If you're a little bit more flexible, you can go a little bit deeper. Great. If you can go a lot deeper, awesome. Everybody is going to be in a different place, and that's totally fine. From here, wherever it is that you're at, we're going to bring our hips over to the other side. All right. What I want you to do is, boom, come on over to the other side. If you're a little bit lower to the ground, you might want to put your hands down and help yourself wiggle to the other side. Once you're here on the other side, we want to breathe, inhale, exhale, and try to see if we can sink just a little bit deeper into our stretch here. All right. Once you've done that, we're going to come on back and do the same. Sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. That is 1 rep. We're going to do 10 of these in total. We're going to count that first one. We got 9 more to go. Should knee not go past the toes? Should knee not go past the toes? It depends. If you are experiencing pain, if you're experiencing discomfort, then no, it probably shouldn't go knees past the toes. But it is entirely biologically and anatomically, it should be possible for most people to bring the knees in front of the toes. Um, you might be talking about a very specific situation and not just when, for example, the foot is pointing that way and the knees are past the toes. This is a totally attainable position for most people. If you have heard the don't bring your knees past your toes when you're doing squats type language, that was very, very, very common thing to say about squats in past decades. It is no longer as much a pure rule as it used to be. And most people should be able to handle the stress of having your knees push a little bit past your toes. That does not mean that you have to be able to handle that right now, right? For a lot of people who have a little less mobility, who've had a lot less movement for a long time, you might not be able to push in that direction. You might feel uncomfortable, and that's absolutely fine. You should accommodate and adjust for what you feel is comfortable to the best of your ability. All right. From here, where are we at? I think we're just doing reps now, right? We covered everything. Let's go. We're down here. We're starting our side to side. Get as low as you can. Put your hands down. Crab walk across. Sit on the other side and keep on coming back and forth. All right. That's 1 rep. We're going to keep going. If you don't need your hands because you got plenty of balance, you got plenty of whatever you need right now, fine. That's cool. Don't use your hands. Keep going. That's 2. I think this is 3 now. Use your hands if you want. Don't use your hands if you don't want to. And if you're ready for a little bit more difficulty, you can try to sit up a little bit straighter. Right? In all the previous versions, I've been super folded forward. And now I'm going to try my best to sit up a little bit straighter. When you do this, you might want to extend your arms out in front of you to help counterbalance. All right? That, I believe, is number 4. Keep going. Do a couple more. Sit into it. Breathe. You don't have to do this on every time. When you're feeling confident, when you're feeling like you got plenty of control, feel free to sit a little bit longer, sit a little bit deeper. Feel free to not do that. If you're feeling achiness in your knee right now from this in between transition, you don't have to keep doing more reps. But if you want to experiment, you can work on a couple of different variations. One of them is coming up halfway, coming across from there, should be easier on your knees, and then sinking a little bit deeper into your Cossack switch on the other side. Again, it's up, across, and down. I think this is 7, maybe 8. We're going to do another. Up, across, and down. When we do it this way, we take a little bit of pressure off the knees from that in-between position, but we still get that deep stretch here and that deep stretch here in the side split. All right? I think it was 9. We got one last variation and one last rep. What we're going to do next is basically squat the whole thing. Push into the floor with that leg. Come on down onto the other. Breathe, chill, push, and come on back down. That is 10 reps. Whew. We have wrapped up our warm-up exercises. If you're just joining in, you're like, what? That's the warm-up? There's more. It's going to get worse. This is crazy. Don't worry. This is a 45 to 60 minute long live side split and hip mobility show. From now on, we're going to be doing a bunch of stretching. All right. And what we've done so far is to get our blood pumping, get our muscles loosened up, get our joints prepared so that we can get the best stretch out of our bodies as possible. And with that, I think we should probably get into it. The first stretch that we're going to do is a hamstring stretch. If you're at home and you've been hanging out so far, make sure to grab a sip of water real quick and also grab a little bit of a cushion for your knee. The way we set the hamstring stretch is with one knee on the ground, one leg extended in front, and our belly button folding down towards that leg. All right? Looks a little bit like this. This knee would probably benefit from a little bit of protection. If you get an old dirty towel, roll it up, stick it under your knee. You got dog toy that's been ripped up today, stick it under your knee. You got couch cushion, decorative pillow, great, stick it under your knee. Flip flops, uh, anything with a little bit of foam, anything with a little bit of padding will do. I'm going to use some Costco gym floor mat thing. And when you're ready, once you got your equipment, we're ready to begin. If it's big enough, I want you to put both knees down on the ground, right underneath you. All right. From the side, I want it to look a little bit like this. You want to be basically standing up nice and straight, except you're on your knees. All right. The reason why I'm emphasizing this is because when we stick out the leg, I don't want you to go wee and start turning it into a front split. When you push that leg out and you push this leg back, you start rotating. Your hips are kind of all over the place. The right side of your hip is that way, left side of your hip is over there, and it's a lot. You're going to start feeling stretches going on everywhere, and it's going to take away from your ability to focus on the stretch we care about, which is the hamstring stretch. All right. So what I'd prefer you do is keep your hips nice and close together, and I prefer that you focus on keeping this very contained. All right. You can almost imagine that you're sucking the leg into your stomach. All right. Next, this leg. You want to extend it right in front of you. If you're immediately off balance, you're like, whoa, what's happening? You can widen your stance just a little bit. Don't go too far. Don't go, sticking it to the side. You can just open it a little bit off to the side. All right. With that, we're ready to begin. Next, we're folding the belly button down to the thigh. All right. We're just trying to go wee. Ugh. If you get stuck, that's fine. Don't worry about it. What you want to do, what I want you to do from this kind of stuck position is to breathe. Just chill, relax. Relax your toes, relax your feet, relax your calves, relax your hamstrings, relax your glutes, relax your low back, and breathe. Get nice and lazy. Drape your body over that leg. And chill. Once you've taken a couple of breaths in this position, you might notice that it's not so bad anymore. And that is what we want. All right. Once you've relaxed a little bit, we're going to take it up to the next level. We're going to go a little bit more intense. What I want you to do is something I call the inhale, exhale, fold. It is very descriptive. We're going to inhale. We're going to take a big breath in. Then we're going to slowly exhale. While we exhale, we're going to fold our belly buttons a little bit deeper to our thigh. All right. This is not about turning your back into a ball and trying to touch your face to your knees. It's about your belly buttons coming along towards your leg. All right. So I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to feel a lot of strain in your neck, in your shoulders, in your upper back. I want you to imagine that you're trying to touch your belly button to your thigh. All right. Let's go. We're going to inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale. Big breath in. Exhale. And fold. Fold, 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 fold. Exhale. Wow. Deep, deep stretch. All right. Now that you've gotten into a deeper stretch, once again, we're trying to relax. We're trying to chill. Relax the toes, relax the feet, relax the calves, poke them, double check that they're chilling. Your hamstrings might not be chilling very much because they're getting stretched, and that's okay, but relax everything else. Your glutes, your low back. Breathe. Let your air out to drape your body over that leg and keep breathing. Whew. Whew. Again, there's almost nothing working really hard right now. You're just letting your body drape. We're not trying to smash our face into our knees. You're not feeling pressure in the back of your neck. You're not trying to compress yourself. The only thing that there might be a little bit of pressure for is your belly button coming down towards your thighs. All right? One more breath, and we're going to do a bonus inhale, exhale, fold. It's not really a bonus. We do this every single time. Inhale, exhale, fold. It's coming right up. Ready? Inhale. Exhale and fold. That is our stretch. Try your best to relax again. toes, feet. If your hamstring stretch is feeling crazy right now, feel free to grab your fingers and stab them right into your hamstrings and start giving yourself a light massage. There doesn't have to be any technique, just poke yourself. That'll take your mind off of how intense the stretch is. All right, 30 seconds. That's how long we're holding it for. 29, 28, 27. Keep breathing. Keep on trying to chill. Keep on relaxing. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is it. That is our hamstring stretch. Bring your leg in, give it a nice little wiggle, give it a nice little shake, bend at the knees, and come on out of that stretch. We're going to get into the other leg now. All right. Once again, bring your legs underneath your hips. Stand up nice and straight, nice and tall, nice and proud for just a second. And let's get ready to extend the other leg out. Try to not extend your legs out. Try not to rotate. Try not to twist. Pull that leg back in. And let's fold. Bring the belly button down towards the thigh. Fold, 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 fold. Fold some more. Fold again. Ooh, hoo, hoo. That is our starting position. From here, we're just breathing, chilling. As we're chilling, relax the toes, relax the feet, relax the calves, relax the hamstrings, relax the glutes, low back as much as you can. And if you're feeling a little bit of pressure in the knee right now, when you're straightening out that leg, you can feel free to give it a slight bend, just the littlest bend. As soon as that tension, that pressure, that pain starts going away, you can stop bending your knee. All right, not like stop by straightening it out again, but don't bend anymore. All right. When you do this, you're going to take pressure off the knee, but you're also taking off a lot of the hamstring stretch. All right. And what I want you to do in this case is figure out if when you straighten out your leg again, if the knee pain comes back. If it just needed you to change your angle a little bit to go away, then you can continue as before. But if your knee pain is still there, feel free to keep that leg slightly bent. Then keep on folding your belly button down, folding your belly button down, folding your belly button down so that your chest is touching that leg all the way, and then straighten out the leg at the end so that all the stuff that might hurt your knee comes all the way at the end and you don't have to worry about it until you have really flexible hamstrings already. All right, that was a long spiel. We're going to do the inhale, exhale, fold. Let's go. Inhale, exhale, and fold. Whew. Breathe, relax. Let the toes, the feet, the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes, the low back relax. Focus on bringing the belly button down to that leg. And breathe. And breathe. And one more breath. We're going to do another inhale, exhale, fold. All right, let's go. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Whew. That is our stretch. We're holding this for 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Remember, this is about the belly button. It's not about the back. It's not about the neck. It's not about the shoulders. It's not about your mid back. It's about your belly button coming down. Everything else should be relatively relaxed, relatively neutral. And you're breathing. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, almost done. 2, keep breathing. 1, 0. Whew, that is our hamstring stretch. If you have pain under your thigh, that is highly likely that is somewhat related to the hamstring stretch that you're experiencing. The underneath of your thigh is usually the hamstrings. If you are feeling like it's really intense and you don't want to continue, you can bend the knee a little bit more and keep folding, or you can pause and not continue the stretch at all. All right. Keep a tab on that pain in your thigh. If it's a sharp, intense pain, then you should definitely stop and you should rest and maybe take a day to really be chill and let it recover a little bit. All right. If it was just a really strong discomfort when you're in this stretched position, and then as soon as you come out of it, there's nothing else that you're feeling bad, that could just be a stretch. If you have a lot of scar tissue in that leg for some reason, it could be scar tissue that is getting stretched, and some of the hard, scarry chunks are not stretching nearly as well as the rest of that leg, and you'll feel it as a sharp sensation. That is entirely possible. First time. Uh, First time as in you only felt it during the stretch, or first time as in like, whoa, I don't want to do any more of this. What does that mean? Zubeda Mukunde says first time. Hold on. If it's the first time on the live, welcome, by the way. I'm going to scroll through the chat real quick, just take a look at the comment, because I don't want you to be in pain. And I will pain under my thigh. First time doing this. If it's your first time doing this, it is highly possible that you just haven't done anything like this before, and it feels a little crazy. That is absolutely also possible. Um, if the pain is really intense and is really sharp, and then you come out of the stretch and you're still feeling that pain, then that is real pain. That is something went wrong. All right. But if for the most part you stood up and you're like, oh, seems fine. Okay. That's probably just tenderness because of the stretch, and a little bit of discomfort is normal. If you're feeling like it's a really sharp pain, you're feeling very sensitive, you can not push as hard. Take it a little bit less intense, right? So if you were feeling the pain when you were all the way down here and you decide to continue, but come out of it a little bit, come a little bit higher, that might also work. All right. Whew, well, especially if you wear shoes with heels, your tendons will be tight. That is also true. Uh, there's a lot of comments coming in. What's going on? Zubeda says, thank you. I have a really bright light up here that's blinding. I just looked at it for a second, so now I have to cover my eyes because I can't read anymore. Key says, I just joined at the breathing part. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We just wrapped up our hamstring stretches. So we're going to move on to the second stretch so you can hop right in and follow along, all right? There's nothing else that you need to know because I'll explain everything as we go. Let's continue into our second stretch. It is the butterfly stretch. And I want you to sit with your back against a wall, all right? So your butt, your hips, your low back, your shoulders, your head are all resting against the wall. You can get nice and snug onto that wall, feel the nice straight posture that you may or may not actually have in regular life. And we're gonna get into the butterfly stretch by bringing our feet together and pulling them in towards our groin, all right? The butterfly stretch is a groin stretch. And the way we work on that groin stretch, which is the stretch of the muscles right here, is by bringing the knees down into the ground. And I want you to get stronger. I want you to get more control every time you're working on these muscles with me. All right. So what I want you to try to do right now is use your outer thighs and use your glutes to help pull your legs open. And it should look a little bit something like this. Using those muscles, you're pulling your knees down, 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 you're pulling your knees down. Whew. And it should not be super comfortable. You should be feeling a stretch right here in the center of your legs. It might even feel like the sensation is radiating up the sides of your legs. All right. If you're new to the show, this is your first time, and you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry about those details. Focus on two things. One, did your knees go down a little bit? If you flexed a whole bunch of muscles and your knees went down a little bit, you're using the right muscles. Two, if you're feeling a stretch getting more intense here in the groin area, then chances are you're also using the right muscles. All right. And that's all you have to think about right now. Okay. Next, we're going to take our hands, we're going to put them to work. What I want you to do is stick them inside of your knee a little bit and push straight down. What's going to happen right now is you're pushing your legs deeper into that stretch, and you don't have to be flexing the muscles anymore. All right. That was just to help you figure out what muscles you care about. From here, when you're pushing your legs down, Your legs might go down a little bit, but you'll also push your shoulders back, your back into the wall. So you might be feeling some pressure in the back of your head. That is normal. That is okay. And we're going to hold this for 30 seconds. So let's go ahead and do that. Push, 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 push. 30, 29, 28, 27. I want you to keep breathing. Nice and slow. Inhale, exhale. 24, 23. Every time you exhale from now on, I want you to see if you can push your legs just a little bit deeper into the ground. All right. If it's not going anymore, you don't have to push any harder. If it's hurting, you don't have to push any harder. You can come back a little bit. But otherwise, give yourself a little bit more of a push. All right. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whew. You can let go of your legs now. Whew. I think I was trying to demonstrate and help you hear how loud I was breathing a little too much. And now I have breathed too much. I'm a little lightheaded. What we're going to do next is flap the wings of our butterfly. All right. We're going to try and get our legs to come up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. The reason why we're doing this is because when you're pushing down on them, you're really pushing for a little bit. Sometimes those muscles get a little bit stuck, they get a little bit confused. They're like, what the heck is happening? And what we want to do is make sure that they're feeling okay before we move on to our next stretch. All right. So, what I want you to do is try your best to flap the wings of your butterfly. If your legs aren't moving very fast, they're kind of like feeling stiff, they're feeling heavy, feel free to grab them, give them a light shake, and go, hey, 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 wake up, we got stuff to do. And do the other leg as well. Hey, 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 we got stuff to do. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And that should help make your legs a little bit more comfortable, make them a little bit easier to move. And with that, we're going to get on into our third stretch. It is called the standing pancake. All right. What I want you to do is get rid of the cushions and all the other things on the floor. You don't need them anymore. And we are going to instead open up our legs nice and wide. All right. Everybody's going to have slightly different bone structure. So what's wide for you might not be wide for me. What's wide for me might not be wide for somebody else. All right. What we're going to do when we bring those legs wide is we're going to try and get to a point where the hips are a little bit uncomfortable. Right here. If you're feeling a pinching pain, you're feeling something sharp, you feel like something just smashed into another bone, that is where you got to stop. It's where you got to stop because that's where your bones are smashed into each other and they can't go any further anyway. So you can bring your legs back together just a little bit until that sensation of pinching, of smashing is gone, and we're ready to continue. Next, we're going to focus on the belly button and we're going to fold forward. All right? I'm going to bring that belly button down to the ground. Whee! Boom! This is our starting position for the pancake. From the side, it looks a little bit like this. Legs are wide, belly button is coming down. Boom. From here, what I want you to focus on is trying to bring your belly button down, 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 down as low as you can. The goal of this stretch is to fold so that you look like this. Boom. Flat. It is really, really, really hard. And that is why we're going to do the version where gravity gives us the most help. All right. What I want you to do is try to keep your upper body as close to horizontal as possible. That is when you'll feel gravity's power the most on your hips. The hips are where you're folding from. All right. And then, if you're ready for something a little bit more intense, you can stick your arms out in front of you so that your biceps are by your ears. And that will make things way more intense. Remember to breathe. If you're really intense and you want to take it to the next level, you can hold something in your hands, you can reach it out in front of you and continue. Whew. If you're feeling like your face is too close to the floor, you get a little uncomfortable, you can try to stick your butt back a little bit. And you can stick your arms out in front of you a little bit to help counterbalance. And that will be a good spot to continue. All right. That's basically all the instruction you need to focus on. The only other thing is if you are feeling comfortable, you can try to widen your stance. You can try to get a little bit deeper into that wide leg position. All right. Fold, 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 fold. breathe, fold, 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 breathe, fold, 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 breathe, fold, 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 fold. And once you're as deep as you can get, we're going to hold it for 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. Remember, the goal is to bring the belly button down towards the ground. And we want gravity to do as much work as possible. So if your upper body is close to horizontal, that's going to be helpful. If you extend your arms out past your head, that's going to be helpful. If it's too much, if it's too intense, you can bring it all down. All right? 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Put your hands down. Oh, that is our pancake stretch. Whew. You're feeling real tired right now. That's very normal. What I want you to do is try to bring your toes in towards the center of your body. Bring your heels in towards the center of your body. Bring your toes in. Bring your heels in. 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 You can take little baby steps. You can take 100 little tiny baby steps, and that's okay. From here, once your legs are back together and you're hunched over, feel free to pop into a little bit of a squat and push off your thighs back into standing. Oh, that is our third stretch, the standing pancake. The standing pancake is one of the hardest stretches that we do in the show, and it's because it uses two muscle groups a lot, like crazy a lot. One of them is this muscle group, the adductors, the inner thigh muscles. When you open your legs like this muscle is getting stretched, but it's not just getting stretched. Because we're hanging out here in that standing position, we're also contracting those muscles to keep ourselves stable in this position. All right? And that is what makes it really hard for us to move. That's why we did the little toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel to bring our legs back together. All right? What else? The other muscles that we are working on, especially hard in the pancake, is your hamstrings. It doesn't matter if you're folding with your legs together to touch your toes, or if your legs are really wide and you're folding from here. As long as your hips are folding forward, your hamstrings are getting stretched. All right? And that just means your hamstrings are very, very tired right now. We're going to move on, however, into something a little bit more chill for your hamstrings. We're going to move on into our fourth stretch. It's either the figure four or the pigeon stretch. You got the option. If you're a regular on the show, you can go ahead and get into whichever one that you prefer. I'm pretty sure we did 2 rounds of pigeon yesterday, so today is a figure four day. All right? And the figure four is done on your back, but the basic setup between the pigeon and the figure four are basically the same. It looks a little bit like this. We're taking the ankle, crossing over to the other leg. We're grabbing that leg, we're pulling it up to the belly button. We'll bring that belly button down to that ankle. All right? From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. We're going to feel the stretch here in the side of that hip. This is technically a glute muscle. And you might also feel it a little bit in your hamstrings, bottom of your leg, and a little bit on the sides and a little bit on the front where you're actually doing the folding. All right? All right, let's get into some figure four. The figure four is real nice because we get to lie down. All right? Ugh. After some of these stretches, it's very, very nice to lie down. Whew. When you're on your back, I want you to cross one leg over the other like you're about to read a newspaper. And sit in a big comfy couch, except you're laying on the ground. So not quite any of those things. Next, we're gonna stick our hands through this triangle that we just made. Boom. And around the outside of the other leg. We're gonna grab that knee. We're gonna pull everything in towards our chest. From the side, it looks a little bit like this. We're pulling that knee in toward us. I want you to take a breath in, and then I want you to exhale. As you exhale, I want you to see if you can pull this leg a little closer to your chest. Exhale. Whew. We're going to do one more inhale, exhale, and pull a little bit harder. Okay? Inhale. Exhale. Whew. You can take a normal breath. You don't have to take crazy breaths all the time. And then we're going to do one more. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale. Pull that leg in. The reason why we're doing this is because I want you to get into a nice deep stretch before we count our 30 seconds. A lot of the time, if you're not being very intentional about this, you'll just let your arm relax and your leg will be hanging out way over there and you won't be feeling much of a stretch at all. All right? So now that you have set this up, let's go. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Keep on trying to pull that leg in towards your chest. You should be feeling that stretch in the outside of that hip, in the glute muscle I was talking about earlier. And it should not be just nice. It should be, a little intense. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whew, that is our stretch. Whew.
What if you have short arms?
What if you have short arms? Um, what if you have short arms? I have relatively short arms, I think. But if you have really long legs, if you can reach your legs, you can grab onto one leg. If you have extra short arms and you can't even pull onto the far knee, you can just grab the leg directly. And you can just try to push that knee in for a little support if you want. This stretch is happening based on the angle of this leg, the bent leg. All right. So if you are doing a little bit of this, you're fine. As long as you can reach your leg, it doesn't matter how short or long your arms are because you're bringing the leg closer to you, right? The only problem with short arms could be that you just can't reach your leg at all. And if that's the case, yeah, get rid of this knee, forget about it, and just focus on bringing this leg in. Most of the stretch, almost all of it, is coming from this leg and it's coming from this hip. Cool? I hope that helps. Other side! Oh, I spin around. Crossing the leg over to the other side. If you can't reach past that leg, feel free to just pull that leg in directly right here. And let's go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Pull a little bit harder. Inhale, exhale. Part of the reason I'm making you inhale, exhale, and pull a little bit harder is because a lot of the time when we're doing the pigeon pose, you're going to be squishing much, much deeper into that stretch because you got your whole entire chest pushing into the leg. When we're doing this version of the stretch on our backs, we have to use our own muscles to pull the leg into our bodies. And that's why I set us up to do a couple rounds of pulling before we begin. All right, 30 seconds, let's go. 29. 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19. Oh, dog needs to leave. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. We're done. Let your legs relax for a second. Maybe let your hips fall to one side. Chill. And we're going to get ready to get into our fifth and final stretch. We're getting into some side splits. All right. If you're just joining in, you're like, what? There's side splits? This is a 45 to 60-minute long side split and hip mobility show that we do every single day to practice the number one quality, consistency. All right. You can have the best plan in the world, but if you can't follow it, it's not the best plan for you. So we spend a lot of time here pretty much every single day helping you and me practice a little bit of consistency. Hopefully, we build up some community, people hang out, ask questions, support each other. And overall, the goal is to make the suffering that we do a little bit more fun, a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit easier so that we can practice that consistency. All right. So if you like the show so far, we're pretty much at the last and final set of stretches. But make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, and keep coming back at 9 p.m. If you don't live in the Eastern time zone, then you can also just come back in 58 minutes ago, but tomorrow and the day after and the day after that, because we're here every day. All right, let's continue with some side splits. The first thing we're going to do is talk about safety. What I want you to do is rest your butt against the wall, all right, and have enough space to either side of the wall so that you don't have to kick stuff if possible. Next, we're going to take one step in front of that wall, and for most people, that should be about 8 to 12 inches. All right. Next, we're going to open up our legs nice and wide, and we're going to get ready to get into our side splits. But pause for a second. Let me demonstrate why we are sitting so close to the wall. When we do the side splits, we're going to be in a situation where our hands are down on the ground. We're going to be leaning into our legs. We're going to be trying to push our legs out to the side. At some point, you'll notice if you stick your butt back, you stick your butt back, you stick your butt back, you'll feel like you're getting a little bit lower and lower and lower into the ground. But at some point, you will not be able to stick your butt any further without starting to fall backwards. You'll start swimming through the air. You'll be like, no! And then, boom, you'll fall backwards. But if you have the wall behind you, your butt will rest against the wall. Everything will be fine. You can just do a little hip thrust, woo, and then you'll be back into your stretch. All right? That's what the wall's for, is to give you support when you need it. All right? Next, once you are here with your legs wide, we want to make sure of one thing, and that is you're not feeling pain right here in the hips. If you're feeling a pinching sensation, you've gone too far, bring your legs back in. Next, we are folding our belly buttons down to the ground. If this looks just like the setup for the pancake, that is because so far it's been the same. What we're going to change up next is we're going to put our hands down on the ground. All right? If you can reach the ground, great. If you cannot reach the ground, feel free to elevate your hands with something. It could be textbooks, it could be yoga blocks, it could be random things that you have at home. Just make sure it is stable and make sure that it is sturdy enough for you to push and put all of your weight into it without it falling apart. All right. From here, get nice and comfortable, and we're going to get into a deeper stretch. All right. Right now, our knees should be pointing forward, our feet should be flat on the ground, and our toes should be more or less pointing forward towards you guys, towards the camera. Right. What I want you to do is rotate the leg back 90 degrees. Right. What that means is instead of the knee pointing forwards, I want the knee to be pointing up like this. So your toes are pointing up, your knees are pointing up, and your heels are down. And we got to do this on both sides. Boom. Heels down, toes up, knees up. The reason why we're doing this is because we're rotating the thigh bones so that the thigh bone, in one of its lumpy parts, does not smash into your hips. Remember how I was telling you to bring your legs closer together so you don't smash and pinch your hips? That's what we're preventing right now. All right? From here, we are in our side split. If your knees are pointing up-ish and the top of your head is pointing up-ish, that's a side split. All right? We're ready to continue. If this is your first time on the live and you're like, I don't know if I can go any further than this, this is a little crazy, I'm not ready for more, feel free to stop, feel free to slow it down, feel free to just wait and hang out. No rush, no pressure. All right? This show is about consistency. If you get injured, if you get hurt, if you get scared, not going to be able to stay consistent. All right? So take a chill, relax, go as easy or hard as you'd like to experiment with. All right? For the rest of us, for our regulars, let's go. Do a little wiggle to the right, little wiggle to the left, little wiggle to the right, little wiggle to the left. Push those legs out. Walk your hands back towards your hips. Rest your butt against the wall for a second. See if you can find a nice, stable, comfortable position to sit into and relax as much as you can. If you cannot get super low to the ground, please continue using your stool. All right, don't, or please continue using your props. You don't have to go hands to the floor ASAP. All right. From here, we're going to try our best to breathe. And we're going to try our best to relax. Relax our toes, relax our feet, relax our hamstrings, relax our calves, relax our glutes, relax our low back. Relax, relax, relax. Inhale, exhale, and sink a little bit deeper into our stretch. All right. Once you're as deep as you can get, we're going to hold it here for 30 seconds. All right. 30, 29, 28, 27. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Try your best to relax your muscles. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Walk your hands forward. Pull your legs in underneath you. Oh, and bring yourself out of that side split stretch. Put your knees underneath you. Sit back, relax, chill, breathe. When you're doing any of those movements, trying to get out of that stretch, by the way, you can feel free to make as many sound effects as you need to. Grunt, groan, ah, whatever makes you feel good. All right. From here, you're feeling a whole bunch of tension in your legs, right? What we're gonna do next is stand up. We're gonna shake out our limbs. We're gonna try our best to relax our muscles so that we can get into a second side split and a third side split even better. All right. Slowly come on back up into standing. Oh, push off those legs. Waddle around like a drunk penguin because your legs aren't working. And let's get ready to shakety shake shake. Put all your weight into one leg and slowly shake the ankle out on the other leg. All right. What we're doing right now is just introducing some gentle movement and getting the ankle to be relaxed. We're not trying to point the toe. We're not trying to flex the foot. We're not trying to do ankle circles. We're just shaking out the leg and letting the ankle go flop, 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 flop. Feel free to start nice and slow and gentle, and then pick up the intensity as you realize how much more comfortable you are with this than you thought. All right. The reason why we're shaking out our ankles is because we want all the muscles above our ankles, the muscles that control the ankle's movements, to be relaxed. If your legs are just flopping all over the place, if your ankles are just flopping over the place, those muscles have to be pretty relaxed. So once that leg is checked, go do the other side. Slowly, gently shake out the ankle. Then pick up the intensity, shake some more. Shake it, shake, 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 shake. Doesn't have to be that aggressive. That seemed like a really aggressive shake, 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 shake. But you know what I mean. Take your time, enjoy it, let the legs relax. If you can notice all the other muscles in your leg are also flopping around, awesome. That's what we want. Relaxation. All right. Next, bring your legs together. Do a quick little calf stretch. Bend at the knees a little bit and walk around. You feel a little bit better? I hope so, because we're moving on. Next, we are going to move on into some hip stuff. All right. I want you to put all your weight into one leg once again, but this time I want you to put the big toe of your other leg down on the ground. I want this knee bent, and I want you to rotate the knee in and rotate the knee out, rotate the knee in, rotate the knee out, rotate the knee in, rotate the knee out. Notice the rest of the body is not moving. The only thing that's moving is this thigh bone in the hip. What we're trying to do is make sure you got control over a couple of muscles in the hip to help your body rotate that leg in and out and in and out and in and out. If you have never done this and you're feeling like your big toe is getting tired for some reason, my toe is cramping. I don't know what's going on. Very, very strange because I do this every day. Feel free to put the whole ball of your foot down. All right. And you can keep going. I recommend the toe because usually there's less friction, there's less rubbing. It's a little bit easier on the foot because we shake out every single day. All right. Once you've done a couple of these, should feel a little bit looser, should feel a bit more comfortable. And if you've developed enough strength, you have enough control that you can pick up the speed, pick up the intensity, feel free to do it. And then we're going to switch over to the side. All your weight is in one leg, big toe is down. We're rotating in and out, in, out, in, out. Again, notice nothing else in the body is moving. The only thing that's moving is this leg where it connects into your hip socket. All right? And do a nice little dance. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And once you've done a couple of those, shake your legs out one last time. We are ready to get into side split number 2. Let's go. We're going to stick our butts to that wall, take one step in front, open up the legs, and we're going to make sure our hips don't hurt. And then we're going to fold and bring our belly buttons down. Stick the hands down on the ground or onto a stool or onto a coffee table, onto a chair, whatever it is that you need to use to support yourself. And let's get a little bit deeper into the stretch. All right. From here, we're going to rotate the legs so that the heels are down, the toes are up, and the knees are pointing up. Rotating those leg bones. Boom. Heels down, toes up, knees up. Heels down, toes up, knees up. When we are in this position, your thigh bones have rotated so that the lumpy parts don't smash into your hips, and so you will not feel that bone pain. All right? So this is really important to make sure that you do this step. From here, we're ready to continue. Exhale. See if you can drift a little bit deeper into your stretch. Lean a little to the left, lean a little bit to the right, lean some more, lean, 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 lean. And if you can, go ahead and walk your hands back, rest your butt on that wall, and try to sit a little bit deeper into your stretch. Keep on doing your little leans. Keep on trying to relax. If your knees are pointing up and the top of your head is also pointing up, you're probably in a side split position, and you can try your best to relax as many muscles as possible. So if your feet were flexed because you were like, he said heels down, toes up, knees up, I have to point the toes up, you don't have to work that hard. You can try your best to relax the toes, the feet, the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes, the low back, and sink as deep into the stretch as you can. All right. Remember, it's about relaxation. So we're breathing and relaxing and exhaling. From here, we got options. There is a slightly different version of the stretch that we're in. If you walk your hands forward a little bit, so it looks like you're about to do a push up, like so, you should have your legs follow you, and your knees will kind of be pointing up at a diagonal. Your head is also kind of pointing up at a diagonal because you're in this push up position. All right. And what we want to do here is stay here. This stretch is going to focus on the inner thighs. And we need a combination of inner thigh and hamstring flexibility to get into our side splits. So now we're going to focus on the inner thighs. Ready? 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Walk your hands forward. Oh, pull your legs in underneath you. Oh, I lost the earbud. I'm sorry, TikTok people. That's going to sound real loud. Whew. And that is our second stretch. We're going to come back into standing. We're going to shake our legs one more time. Then we're going to get into side split number 3. So come on up into standing. And let's go. You can always grunt and groan as much as you want, right? If it feels good, grunt. If it feels good, groan. Make as many sound effects as you need to, because I can't hear you anyway, right? Let's go. Shaking out the ankles. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. As you get more comfortable with it, shake a little harder. Wiggle some more. Start shaking out that whole leg if you want, because at the end of the day, this is about relaxation. All right. Doesn't have to be a perfect way to do this. What matters is that your legs are relaxed so that you can get into a deeper stretch. We're switching to the other leg. I already started. I forgot to tell you. Shake out that ankle. Shake, 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 shake. Shake, 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 shake. Shake some more. Add in the whole leg. Let the leg go wee, flop around, relax. And do that little knee bend. Feel that little calf stretch. And let's continue with our hips. All right. If you were able to do the other version comfortably, we're ready to move on. If not, keep on doing the other version, right? All your weight is in one leg, big toe is down, rotating the in and out and in and out and in and out. If you're ready for something a little bit more intense, there's a slightly different version where we stick our leg out straight-ish to the side over there. And we're going to keep on using those same muscles. We're going to shake hard, shake harder, 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 until our thigh muscles, our thighs go flopping all over the place and they look like they're made of jelly. All right? That is what we want. When your legs are flopping and shaking all over the place, chances are those leg muscles are relaxed. A couple of quick tips. If you put all of your weight into the standing leg and there's almost no weight in the leg that's shaking, it's going to be a lot easier. If you have a lot of weight in the leg that's shaking, those muscles will be tense to support that weight and it will not rotate as easily. It will not relax as much as you need it to in order for the thigh to be flopping all over the place. All right. So hopefully You're done that side. Let's go to the other side. Again, if you're new to the show and you haven't figured out how to control the muscles to do this portion super well yet, focus on just this. It's not FOMO. You just don't have the intense floppiness prepared. You got to prepare yourself for the intense floppiness. All right. So do a couple of these and let's go. Straighten out that leg. Big toe is down. All your weight is in this leg. There's almost no weight in this leg. And we're shaking out that leg. We're shaking, 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 shaking. For some reason, whenever I start thinking about the shake and I do it on the right leg, I can't do it nearly as well. I can't go as fast as I can on the left leg, even though my right leg is the dominant leg and the strong leg and better at pretty much everything else than my left leg. And the more I think about it, the less it's going to perform. So performance anxiety in the thigh. How crazy is that? Anyways, once you've shaken out your legs, we're ready to move on into our third and final side split. If trying any of those new moves meant you didn't have enough time to actually do the relaxing stuff because you were too busy trying to figure out new stuff, take a couple more seconds and shake out those things. All right, shake, 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 wiggle, 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 flop, 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 and let's get into side split number 3 and rep this up. Stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. Open up those legs. Make sure your hips do not hurt. If they do, bring them in just a little bit. And we're ready to fold that belly button down. Stick your hands down on the ground. If you can't reach or you don't want to, feel free to elevate your hands. You can be a stool, could be some textbooks, could be some yoga blocks, could be a coffee table, could be a chair. Whatever you have that is stable and sturdy and can handle your weight is good. From here, we're going to try and sink a little bit deeper into the stretch real quick. Then we're going to externally rotate these legs so that your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. All right, let's go. Boom. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. From here, you are in your side split position. Lean to the left, lean to the right. Push those legs out, drop a little bit deeper. Make sure to breathe. Don't hold your breath. Inhale, exhale, and keep on sinking into your stretch. Breathe, relax. Walk your hands to your hips. Rest your butt up against the wall. You should be close enough. If you start at 8 to 12 inches, one footstep in front of the wall. If your knees are pointing up and the top of your head is pointing up, you're probably maintaining the side split pose. So you can relax all of those muscles. Relax the toes, relax the feet, relax the calves, relax the thighs, relax the glutes, relax the low back, and breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Sink into your stretch. Whew. Yeah, options. This is our third and final round. If you want to do the upright version with your butt against the wall, feel free to do that version. It's going to be more of a hamstring stretch. If you want to lean forward into that push-up looking position so you feel more of the stretch in your inner thighs, go ahead and do that. I'm going to focus more on a pancake looking variation for me because I think this is what I need for my flexibility. So you guys can pick whichever that you want and we're ready to go. Breathe. Oh, 30 seconds. Let's do it. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, ho, ho, that is our stretch. Come on up out of your stretch. Oh, walk your hands forward if you can. Oh, bring your legs in underneath you. And we are out of our third and final side split pancake, whatever it is that you were doing. All right. Whew, that is pretty much all the hard stuff left in the show. All we got left is a little bit of relaxation. We're going to do a couple of joint checks just to make sure your body's moving smoothly, and we'll be ready for some Q&A. All right, let's go. Come on, up into standing. Ugh. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to, and let's shake it out. Shake it out. Ankles first. Shake, 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 shake. We're on the third round of shaky, shaky, relaxy, relaxy. As you do more of these, you should get more comfortable with doing them a little bit faster, a little bit more intense. And this happens on sort of like a daily basis. As you get to the third shake, it's a little easier. But over time, even the first one will start feeling easier and easier and easier to get into for you to get into a faster pace because you're training your brain to relax. And the faster you train your brain to relax, the faster everything else will end up being, right? So shake out those legs, shake out the ankles, shake some more, shakety, 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 shakety. You can start adding in some fun stuff just for your own entertainment and see if it works. You don't have to go crazy. Just add a little rotation here, flop the ankles around, flop the calves, do a little twist. Wee! And once your legs are feeling a little better, let's move on into our hips. Same thing as before. All of your weight is in one leg, big toe is down. We're doing the in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. If you're getting into the groove of this, you can add in some other fun stuff, right? This is about hip mobility. You should put your hip mobility to work. You've earned it, you've worked for it. You should make it fun for you. So if you want to do some stanky leg, you want to push that leg back out, you want to have fun with that leg mobility, that hip mobility that you're developing, you should absolutely have fun with it. Do some stanky leg. Ooh, hoo, hoo. You can really focus on that position where you pull the knee in for that standing leg. You can rotate out, you can push it back out. You can have fun with it, make it smooth, make it look cool. And it's not exactly the weekend. But if you go dancing that night, feel free to break out those moves with some extra hip mobility. Show it off. All right. What else are we doing? I think it's time for us to get into some joint checks. All right. What I want you to do is really slow hip circles. Just really slowly lean into that hip. Lean some more. Push that belly button forward, support your low back, and keep on going around. After the side splits, I tend to feel a whole bunch of pressure on the left side and the right side of the hip, and I like to spend a little bit extra time there. If you're feeling pressure in your low back and you want to just for a little bit or for a little bit, perfect. If for some reason you're the exact opposite and you want to go oh for a little bit, that's cool with me too. All right. Take care of whatever it is that you need to take care of, and we'll go back to the next movement in a little bit. If you've been doing hip circles this whole entire time and you've just been enjoying those, feel free to reverse direction. And one more, we're going to move on. Next, I want you to bring your knees up nice and high. If they come up, you're ready to move on. We're just checking that everything was good. Next, we're going to bring our feet underneath our hips, right? They don't have to be super wide. They don't have to be super narrow, just about hips width apart. From here, we're going to drop into a squat, and I want you to get as low as you can into something that looks like this, right? So your thighs are getting pretty close to 90 degrees. You don't have to go any further than that. But I want you to bring your chest down towards your legs, and I want you to try and bring your knees a little bit forward towards your toes. If you have knee pain, you can't handle this position, feel free to not go as far forward. But if you otherwise can go that far, go a little further. Cool? From here, you should be feeling a nice stretch in your Achilles tendon. You should be feeling a nice stretch in your calves. You should be feeling like you're about to fall forward a little bit. Because you have that feeling, your toes should be working real hard, gripping into the floor to keep you from leaning forward. So if you're not doing that, try your best to do that. When your toes are gripping real hard in the ground, the arch of your foot should also be quite tense, trying to help support your feet so that you don't fall forwards. And from here, we're going to do some calf raises. Put your hands down on the ground if you need the support, and try to come up onto your toes. All right? If you don't need your hands, feel free to not use them. When you do these, I want you to try to balance your weight between your index toe and your big toe. And I want your heels to come straight up and down. All right. If you try to spread the weight across your whole forefoot from the big toe to the pinky toe, it will tend to look a little bit more like this. You'll start pushing your knees out. That's not what we want. It's fine, but it's not what we want. Whew. And once you've done a couple of those, and your legs are tired and your calves don't want to do that anymore, feel free to stop. If you're able to do most of that stuff, chances are it's a really good chance that your toes are working well with your feet, we're working well with your ankle, with your quads, with your calves, with your tibialis muscles in the front, with your hips, with your low back, keeping you nice and stable. And chances are your joints are probably fine. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming to the live. I hope you had fun. Hope you are feeling a little bit more relaxed now after all that shaking and joint checks. And I hope you remember that this is a 45 to 60-minute live that is gone quite a bit longer than 60 minutes. We're at 81 minutes now, where we do side split stretching and hip mobility work every single day starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you're not in the Eastern time zone, this live started an hour and 21 minutes ago. And we do this every day. So if you need a little bit of support practicing consistency, you need a little bit of support working on your hip mobility and side splits, make sure to keep coming back because we are here every day. Whew. Is there anything else that I need to tell you? On weekends, we have another live at 9 a.m. It's not really anywhere close to the weekends, so it's not super important right now. But this weekend, we are going to do a vintage workout. Vintage is kind of just what made it go viral. We're going to do a Taibo workout, and you're welcome to come. Exactly what Taibo and how long, I don't know, but we are going to be putting together a quick live workout where we do something a little bit different and see how that does. Part of it is because the best performing short video on YouTube and TikTok happens to be Taibo related for me, and I think yesterday somebody might have said that it's like a Taibo anniversary right now. So perfect timing. Not intentional, but perfect timing. And if you guys are interested, feel free to come back and keep your eye out for that. I will have more details as we get closer. Is there anything else? I make other content. A lot of the short form content that you would watch on TikTok and on YouTube Shorts is around trying to get you to do a little bit more exercise, but integrate it into your day a little bit more naturally, right? If you are doing making coffee, you got a minute and a half, 2 minutes to spare, that is a perfect amount of time to get a tiny little bit of exercise and squeeze it into your day. It might not be the best way to build muscle, but it is a really good way to work those joints, maintain your mobility, and get your heart pumping, get your blood pumping so that you feel a little better throughout your day. All right. And those 2 minute things add up. If you got 2 minutes to wait for your microwave to finish heating up your lunch, if you got 2 minutes to wait for your tea to brew, if you got 2 minutes waiting for the cash register, maybe yeah, paying might be a little bit weird, but those are perfect moments for you to get a little bit of exercise. All right. There is one last thing. I have a new video out over on YouTube, and that video is about what I think is one of the most important parts of basic beginners calisthenics training. It is about the full body tension that makes a lot of the really cool badass moves look awesome. And some of those cool moves would be stuff that I've made other videos about, like the elbow lever. When you can control all of the tension in your whole entire body, and you can support your body weight, you can do cool things like the elbow lever a little bit more easily. And when you can control those things, you can swing your legs up, you can come on down, you can do crazy stuff. And that is the topic of the most recent video. The way you train full body tension as a beginner often looks a little bit like a plank. In fact, I mean, it is a plank. You should go check out that video. We talk about how to turn the plank into a strength exercise instead of an endurance exercise, and how to use that strength and apply it to other things like handstands, like the elbow lever, and all the other levers. Front lever, back lever requires a whole bunch of full body tension, and the skills that you learn from that hardcore plank applies to all those things. All right. So if you're interested in those things, go check out that video, leave a comment, ask me some questions, and I'd appreciate it. If you like calisthenics skill tutorials, I also make those. The elbow lever, I got one of those videos up on YouTube as well. The YouTube account is called youtube.com/ at symbol splits on the side. So the same username as on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And you can feel free to check out that stuff. I'm done with the pitching. It's time to look at the Q&A. All right, let's see. Adam, is here over on YouTube. Adam says, I do this with a bed as safety guard as well. That makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Whenever you have the opportunity to make your environment a little bit safer, you should just take it. You might not need it, might not be important today, but who knows? At some point, it might be useful. Maybe one day you're just a little bit more tired, or maybe you're a little bit less cautious. Maybe you just got some random stuff in the house that just got moved because somebody's visiting, and all of a sudden things are a little bit different, and you get into a little awkward situation. With a little bit of extra safety, it doesn't hurt. So good on you, Adam, for adding a little bit of safety using your bed. All right. I think that is most of the YouTube comments. Action less action says, got it. We'll join. I guess I was probably telling you guys that we do this live every single day, and you should keep coming back. And action less action. Welcome, welcome. Hope you keep on hanging out and doing some side splits with us. I'm gonna scroll over on TikTok and see what is going on. I'm gonna scroll really far back as I can. TikTok has been not showing me old chats, like from the beginning of the live. So I'm gonna just go as far back as I can see, and we will continue. Zubeda asks about the pain under the thigh. We talked about that during the live. Zubeda, let me know if you realized if maybe it was just the stretch that was intense that caused you the discomfort, or if it was, something more serious than that. Ruby Princesses, thank you. You're very welcome, Ruby. And I'm gonna keep scrolling. Che says thank you. Zubeda says the first time I'm doing this. Adam over on YouTube just wrote, "Thanks again for the motivation." Yeah, thanks again for the motivation. You're so welcome. It's it's really hard to stay consistent for things that cause you to feel like you're suffering. So part of the reason why this live exists is because I have been trying to get this ice for a really long time, and I could never stay consistent. And so part of this is me making myself stay consistent because I'm a people pleaser and I show up for you guys. So thank you for being here and helping me stay consistent too. All right. He says I just joined at the breathing part. Awesome. Plantastic says, especially if you wear shoes with heels, your tendons will be tight. Yes, if you wear a lot of heels often, especially if you have like really tall heels, that will get you into a situation where your Achilles tendon, this tendon right here, is perpetually shortened all the time that you're wearing shoes. Right? If your foot is always in this position because you got really tall shoes or something like that, this tendon is going to be short, and same with the rest of the muscles in your calf, usually. But when you do the opposite, when you flex the foot up, when you try and get into a hamstring stretch, these muscles will not like it. And indirectly, that also hits into your thigh as well. It's not necessarily what Zubeda might have been talking about, but in general, high heels, a lifetime worth of high heels, do shorten your Achilles tendon and make your calves really tight. It takes extra effort to get those nice and loose for whatever sports you like. If you're running, really tight calves might be not so bad. But if they're too tight, might not also be very useful, right? You need a little bit of strong calves in order to be able to bounce up and down in your stretch. And hold on, gotta open the door one more time. Dog is super excited. And let's see. Elle asked about what if you have short arms? We answered that on the live. Rain said, good job. Awesome. Do 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 do. Zubeda asked, when do you start? We answered that. And what else do we have? I'm looking for more questions, comments. If you guys ask questions early in the live, feel free to send them again because I probably won't be able to see them. Sherlock 9cc says, I'm showing this to my husband so he can do it while I watch. That's hilarious. Awesome. Forgive says, my legs tremble after. That is very normal. It's going to tremble because you're putting yourself into these crazy positions that your body doesn't want you to be in, right? And there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with your body. But the most important thing is if this is your first time doing some of these exercises, this is your first time getting into some of these positions, just because you haven't really done them before, your brain is going to be learning, it's going to be figuring it out. And it is very normal when your brain doesn't have that movement pattern figured out for your whole body to be shaking and confused. So if you're experiencing that, that's that's still pretty normal. It just happens when you're learning new things. Um, Elizabeth says, thank you so much. You're very welcome, Elizabeth. I think you're talking to me. If not, thank you so much to whoever helped Elizabeth. Let's see. We're scrolling, scrolling. Forgive says great. And I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling. Paul, thumbs up and high five. Thank you, thank you. Zubeda says, my knees hurt so bad. That was so cool. Um, hmm, my knees hurt so bad. That was so cool. My knees hurt so bad. That was so cool. Where could that have been?
Which one is it?
Zubeda says, my knees hurt so bad. That was so cool. Was that when
Oh,
we
was
were
that
doing
the
the,
one?
yeah, yeah, was that when we were doing this thing where we're coming up into our calf raises? Yeah, that puts a little bit of pressure on your knees for sure. For a lot of people, that is going to be a little bit challenging. And that's part of the reason why we do it, because we want to make sure that we're putting a couple of seconds, right, of time into doing things that your body should be able to eventually do. And yeah, the knees over the toes is one of those things that are challenging. I think somebody earlier in the live asked about whether or not we should be bringing the knees over the toes during the Cossack switches. Um, there's a guy over on the internet who has become very famous, and his name is Knees Over Toes Guy. And his backstory is something like he had major knee surgery, and if you like look at the videos about him, he literally has like a huge lump in his like left leg that comes up because of his knee replacement. And basically, he tells a story where doctors said that he'd never be able to really jump again or sprint again. And what he has done is build a workout around very specific muscles in the leg and the knee. And this guy moves incredibly well. He is not somebody who is not jumping. He's like dunking, and he trains other people specifically for making sure that they move well. If you want to go check that guy out, his name is, oh shoot, what's his name? Ben Patrick. Ben Patrick, spelled exactly how you would think that is spelled. The account is Knees Over Toes Guy. I think on one of the platforms it might be the Knees Over Toes Guy, and it's Knees Over Toes Guy. So no tricky spelling there. Uh, his stuff is really quite good, especially his free stuff. Like you don't have to buy anything, you don't have to pay any money. This isn't a sales pitch or anything, but I have personally done some of his free workouts, and when I was doing them, I had like this nagging knee thing whenever the humidity got high, and the weather was also cold, where I would feel it right here in my knee. I did some of his basic free workouts for about 2 months, and there was a lot of relief, and probably for at this point like 8 months or so, I was like feeling real good. But I haven't really done any more of those exercises after those 2 months where I did do them, which was probably a bad idea. But my knees are getting a little bit naggy right here again, and I need to get back into it. So that's my plan, to do a little bit more of those types of exercises. And I was like, why am I even talking about this? His signature move is the knees over toes split squat, and it looks a little bit like this. Is this my more flexible leg? That'll be fine. It's to bring the knees over the toes as much as possible and try to drop into as deep a split looking, squat looking thing as possible. For a lot of people, when you get started, it's not going to be a very easy position to get into, especially because you got to combine this back leg flexibility into it. So you can start by elevating this front leg and then slowly trying to get nice and square, trying to bring that knee forward a little bit, sitting into that stretch. And as you get stronger, as you get more mobile in these types of positions, you'll build up strength around the knee, around the muscles that support the knee, and you start moving a little bit better. Um, it's not my area of expertise. I've only done 2 months of his workouts, like I said. So feel free to check out his work. Again, it's Ben Patrick, and the account is Knees Over Toes Guy, and he does this professionally. So um, he's got a bunch of reviews. You can go check those out if you're not feeling convinced by me. That's fine. Zubeda says, God bless you for this. You're very welcome. I get upper back pains. Upper back pains. Upper back pains. Do, 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 do. Is that in general? Is that from our stretches and our exercises? Upper back pain. Are Is it because you were really bent forward at some point? All right. While I get an answer to that, I'm going to scroll a little more. Is that Ileana? Ileana says, "Thank you. You're welcome." Silence says, "I learned elbow lever today, but sir, I'm still struggling." Ooh, you should definitely check out the elbow lever tutorial. And if you have a very specific question, I might be able to help you. But just telling me that you're struggling is not enough information for me to help you. So if you have a specific problem, let me know. And Zubeda says it went away along the way. Okay, interesting for the back problem. Lazam says thank you. Zubeda says yes. And Zubeda wrote Ben Patrick. Yes, that is exactly how you spell his name. It's way back, not in your stretch. Oh, okay, cool. So you have a upper back discomfort. Um, I can give you some random sort of tips to help with that, but I don't think it's going to be nearly specific enough to actually focus on whatever it is that you're experiencing. One quick way to help relieve some tension in your spine, in your back, is to hang off of a pull up bar or hang off of something. Just hook your hands around it, try to stay connected, and let your body drape down and try to relax as many muscles as you can while hanging on to the bar. That will help a lot of those muscles chill out, a lot of those muscles to relax. A lot of the time, pain in the upper back is, from when you are stuck in a position for a long time. Those muscles get stuck in that position, and then they don't want to do other things. And sometimes all you need to do is add a little bit more movement, intentional movement back in. But sometimes that posture you've been holding for a long time takes a lot more to get back into mobility, get back into movement than whatever random thing I'm going to tell you. In general, though, there are a couple of standard, pretty much always good for you movements. One of them is hanging from a bar and letting your whole entire back relax. But it's not just your back that relaxes. When you're hanging from something, your shoulder blades and your upper back and all these things that support your shoulder blades, they also get a nice stretch and a nice bit of relief. There are ways to target specifically different parts of your back if you want to just get a little bit of a stretch. If you hold on to a door frame and then you kind of squat and sit back and pull your door frame like this, you can sort of target specific parts of your back by pulling on that part of your arm with the door. I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like the sentence is a little bit weird. How do I describe this? If you hold onto something stable, for most people at home, it will be like a door frame, right? You can just hold the outside of that door. And if you sort of lean back and let that arm pull, you'll start feeling stretches in different parts of your back. And if you, for example, do something that looks like this while you're pulling against the wall and leaning away from the door frame, you'll feel more of a stretch here. If you pull around like this, you'll feel more of a stretch in the upper portions of your back. So you should give that a try and see if that helps. But changing the angle of your arms is going to help you hit different parts of your back. So you should definitely experiment and see if that is relief. Whew. All right. And I think that is all of the comments. Pacification says thank you. You're very welcome. All right. We have been going for about 87, 88 minutes. This live is pretty much done. There's still 30 something of you over on TikTok and 3 on YouTube. Feel free to send any last minute questions if you got them. Otherwise, we are going to wrap up, and I'm going to wrap up with another little spiel about what we just covered. We just did like 80 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering that we do on the floor a little bit more fun, a little bit more enjoyable. So if you like side splits, if you want to work on your hip mobility, if you need a little bit of help with consistency, feel free to keep coming back at 9 p.m. Eastern every single day, because that is when we're live working on these side split stretches. There's a caveat to that. I have a wedding to attend on Saturday. So I'm going to be back home a little bit later than the start of our normal live. On next Saturday, sorry, May 1st, the is it May 1st? I don't actually know what day it is. I think it's May 2nd. It's May 2nd. On May 2nd, I will be starting the show late 1 hour because I will be coming back from a wedding. Other than that, the live starts at 9 p.m. Eastern time every single day. All right. Is there anything else? No, I think that's everything. All right. I think that's the last message. One last thank you so much from Travel Roxy. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here in the chat, supporting, answering questions for the people who show up. Thank you, Che, for being here. And I will see you guys in a little bit. Tomorrow's live is in like 22 and 20 minutes, 22 hours and 20 minutes. So I'll see you there. Bye. Closing out.